Yasuke. Feudal Japan. A place where your lifespan was directly proportional to how good you were at stabbing people and avoiding betrayal. The country was split into warring states ruled by daimyo, basically warlords with serious trust issues. Peasants were just trying to survive, and if you were a samurai, your main hobbies included swinging swords at people, writing poetry about how sad you were, and dramatically falling on your own blade whenever life got a little too hard. Enter Oda Nobunaga. This guy was on a mission to unify Japan, and he did so by making everyone who opposed him very, very dead. If Avengers Endgame had a Japanese version, he would have been the purple guy saying, "I am inevitable," while setting everything on fire. But before we get to him, let's talk about Yasuke. The man, the myth, the samurai who somehow ended up in all this chaos. Yasuke's origins are a bit of a mystery, but most historians think he came from somewhere in East Africa, probably Mozambique or Sudan. What we do know is that he was an absolute unit. At over 6 feet tall in a time when most people barely hit 5'3", he looked like a boss fight in a world of NPCs. Speaking of legendary warriors, you too can join an elite squad by hitting that subscribe button. We're aiming for 100 subscribers, and unlike feudal warlords, I won't betray you the moment it's convenient. Now, back to Yasuke. At some point, he was either captured, enlisted, or hired as a bodyguard by just sweet missionaries. Those guys who traveled the world trying to spread Christianity and occasionally causing international incidents. One such missionary, Alessandro Valignano, took Yasuke with him to Japan in 1579. And this is where things got weird. When Yasuke landed in Japan, the locals completely lost their minds. Most had never seen a black man before, so they did what any rational person would do: assume he was covered in ink and try to scrub him clean. Imagine being this guy, coming all the way across the world, only to have some confused peasant come at you with a sponge like, "Don't worry, sir, we'll fix you." But this wasn't just an awkward cultural misunderstanding. Yasuke's sheer presence was such a spectacle that word reached the big boss himself, Oda Nobunaga. Oda Nobunaga was a man of many talents, military genius, ruthless warlord, and an absolute connoisseur of weird and interesting people. When he heard about Yasuke, his response wasn't, "Get rid of this foreigner." No, it was, "Bring me this unit of a man immediately." Yasuke was summoned to Nobunaga's court, where the warlord did what any reasonable leader would do upon meeting a giant foreign warrior, made him strip. Not in a weird way, he just wanted to see if Yasuke's skin color was real. Once he confirmed that, yes, this was in fact the world's most muscular reality check, he was sold. Nobunaga took an immediate liking to Yasuke, and just like that, our guy went from foreign bodyguard to one of the highest-ranking samurai in Japan. Yasuke wasn't just a token warrior either. Nobunaga actually respected him. He gave him a house, a salary, and even his own katana, which, for a foreigner in Japan at the time, was about as common as a talking horse. Yasuke became one of Nobunaga's personal bodyguards, meaning he was in the room for major battles, strategies, and possibly some tea ceremonies where he had no idea what was going on but tried his best to look cultured. But, as always in feudal Japan, good times didn't last. Enter Akechi Mitsuhide, one of Nobunaga's top generals, who one day woke up and decided, "You know what? I think I'll kill my boss today." In 1582, Mitsuhide pulled the ultimate backstab, launching a coup against Nobunaga while he was chilling in a temple in Kyoto. Yasuke, along with Nobunaga's remaining loyal forces, fought back, but it was hopeless. Seeing the writing on the wall, Nobunaga decided to go out in peak samurai fashion by committing seppuku. Yasuke was now in serious trouble. His patron was dead, and Mitsuhide wasn't exactly handing out forgiveness coupons. Still, Yasuke refused to go down easy. He regrouped with Nobunaga's son, Oda Nobunaga, and fought like hell to defend him. But Mitsuhide's forces were too strong, and Yasuke was eventually captured. Now, here's where things get extra weird. Instead of executing Yasuke like every other captured samurai, Mitsuhide took one look at him and basically said, "Yeah, you don't count as a real samurai. Get out of here." Now, was this racism? Was Mitsuhide just so confused by Yasuke's whole deal that he decided it was easier to just let him go? We'll never know. What we do know is that Yasuke was handed over to the Jesuits, and then, poof, he disappears from history. There are theories, of course. Some say he went back to the Jesuits and continued working for them. Others think he became a wandering warrior, either staying in Japan or heading elsewhere. The most exciting possibility, he pulled a John Wick, survived, and spent the rest of his life taking revenge on anyone who had wronged him. Whatever happened, Yasuke remains one of the most fascinating figures in samurai history. He walked into one of the most exclusive warrior societies in the world and actually made it. And the best part? He didn't do it by being a noble or a politician. He did it by being an absolute beast in battle. And if that doesn't earn him a spot in history, I don't know what does.